Hey, what's going on? Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode. Hi, I am Jewel. If you've not been to my channel before, welcome to my channel. If you are watching this video, chances are you've decided to go back to school and you want some tools to help. Well, in this video, I'm going to go over some of my favorite websites, apps, and tools that I like to use to do my homework. So let's get busy. Okay, so we're going to take a look at a few of the apps that I like to use to help me with all of my schoolwork. These are not apps that you can cheat with, they're just tools to help you with your writing, to help you with your APA style, to help you with research and that type of thing. Some of them are also just to help you with timing, so that you make sure you take good breaks and things like that. So we're going to go over a few of those. So I'm going to switch on over to my other camera so that we can take a look. All right, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go now. So this app, and by the way, I'm not getting paid by any of these people for this. This is just strictly something I've been thinking about doing. And so here we go. So one of the apps that I like to use is Grammarly. Now, some of you, I'm sure, are familiar with Grammarly. It is an application to help with your writing. So making sure you got proper punctuation, sentence structure. One of the things that I learned using Grammarly, it can also help you coach you in your writing. Okay. And I found out that I use a lot of passive voice in my writing. And since I've been working in Grammarly, I have since improved upon that. Also, it helps with duplication of words. If you're constantly using the same words, Grammarly is going to help you broaden your vocabulary. Not too I want to say academically. In other words, you're not going to be using a lot of big words. You're just going to be using a lot of variety of words. One thing I do like about Grammarly is if you do use really big words, it'll sometimes give you a suggestion to say, hey, a reader may be a little confused on what you're trying to say. So I like to use Grammarly for that. Now I like to come into, and I'll just close this out real quick. Well, I don't have to do that. But what I like to do is come into the app and open up a fresh document like this. And then I will put in a title. We'll say YouTube tutorial on Grammarly. Okay. And then I just, if I have a project that I need to write, I'll start writing in here. So I'll say something like, today we are talking about using Grammarly for school work. Okay, so as you can see here, this is obviously a lot of misspellings. And as you can see, Grammarly popped up suggestions. So you can click on this and it'll pop up. It'll change that. It's telling you talking. It's going to change that. And that's asking for gallery. And you want gram. Oops. And see, now it's giving me Grammarly, okay, for schoolwork. So now to try to demonstrate how it will suggest if you're using passive voice, you could write something like, the other day I had a yummy can't spell, sandwich for lunch, and the mayo should have been mustard let's see, instead. Okay, so as you can see here, it suggests a comma right here after the N. And then this is clarity. Okay, so it's telling me this sentence appears to be written in the passive voice. Consider rewriting in the active voice. So what does active voice actually mean? And then sometimes it'll give you suggestions and sometimes it won't. But in this particular case, it gave me a suggestion. Your sentence may be clear, unclear, or hard to follow. Consider rephrasing it. So what it suggested is take out the other day and put in, I had a yummy sandwich for lunch the other day, and the mayo should have been mustard instead. Okay, so changing that. Now, as you can see, it's still saying I'm using passive voice. Have been mustard. Okay, so one of the things I like to do is just kind of play around with the words, and I'll say should have or mayo and say and the mayo should have been mustard, or say it tastes better with mustard, not mayo. Okay, so it gave me a couple, said I'm splicing here. Okay, so I could do that. It tells me taste, spelling, and then not mayo. So, but at least I got rid of the active voice. But this is a great tool. Obviously, I know I spelled mustard. Thank you. I was wondering if I was going to catch it. But this is a great tool if you do a lot of writing in school. And it also helps build your writing, I would say, skill set. Okay. Because after using this for quite some time, I'm now capable of catching that passive voice. Even when I talk, or even when I'm writing, say, an email or something, or I can kind of hear like, I think I'm using a passive voice. I need to use active voice. The reason behind the active voice, I'm not in passive voice. I'm not 100% sure. I've never looked that up. So if you're curious about that, that's something you want to look up. So, but definitely I would recommend, for your writing, go ahead and use something like Grammarly, because it'll really help you as you go through school. And it looks really nice when your paperwork is free of errors. Okay. So another thing, you'll probably see this on your own, and this is the Purdue Online Writing Lab. And so in here, there's a lot of guidelines on writing APA style. You can also, if you scroll down here, you've got MLA, Chicago IEEE style. I don't know what that is. AMA style, ASA style, and so forth. So it depends on your professor or the degree that you're going for, whether or not you'll use APA style or MLA style or what style have you. But this is a great reference tool to come to help you understand what is in-text citation, how to write an in-text citation, so forth and so on. And then you also have the APA style website, It's just type in APA. I think it's apa.org, and that stands for the American Psychology Association. So this website is a great tool. Now they do have, and I've used this. I don't use it. I didn't re-up my manual for this year, but I have used this to help understand how to put together your papers when you are doing research, when you have to paraphrase versus quoting and things like that. You don't want to get caught with doing plagiarism. That can be a heavy penalty. But this guide helps you understand how to rephrase. The one principle that I go to is, if I read it and I'm writing about it, I need to give credit to the source. Okay. So I know that it's unfamiliar to you, to have to always look and say, oh, I read that by, and it was said by, blah, blah, blah. But when you're going back to school, what the professors in the school is looking for is that you understand that the concept, the ideas that you're writing about came from what you're reading. And they just want you to show that in your paper. And so this is a great source for doing that as well. Now, one of my favorite sites to go to is called Scriber. And let me show you how Scriber works. Scriber is not a cheat, but it is a very helpful resource. So let's say I belong to a couple of magazines, and I'm going to say Entrepreneur Magazine. We'll go there. Okay, we'll go there. We'll open up an article. Wants to say, let's do something. Let's search about something. Let's find a video let's find an article on branding. That's what we're studying. Okay. So I'm going over here. I'm looking for branding. Okay. The basics of branding. We'll start there. So let's say I read this article and I get some great ideas, and I incorporate some of the concepts that they talk about in this particular article. And I want to add this article on my reference page using APA style. Okay. So if you go up here, up at the top, I don't know if you can see this. You might not be able to. I see, I'm looking at my window. I don't think you can. But up at the top is the address in the address box. Don't you love ads? Don't you love them? Don't you love them? So basically you want to copy, it's Command C on a Mac. You want to copy the URL, okay? And then you want to come over here to Scriber, and it has a reference list. You can use websites, journal article, book, report, image. If you click on other, there's a whole bunch of others. If you're curious, if you use YouTube videos, you can go down here. There's YouTube. Okay. So you want to go back to the reference list, and we're quoting a website. So we're going to put the website in. Command. Oh, I did that wrong. Go back. Okay. Command C. Go back over here. Command V, and then search. Now what it does is it searches and it gets the article that I was reading. So what it will do is it will place the title, it will have the URL, it will have the author, okay, first initial, last name, and it will have, if there's additional contributors, you'll put them here. It will have the publishing date, the day is the 8th, the 3rd, 2018. Now that's weird. Okay, it's March 8th today, 2020, And randomly, I have picked an article that was written on this day in 2018. Okay, enough of that. So anyway, now date accessed. I accessed it today. So I'm going to put today's date, 08, the month of March, 03, 2022. Okay, and down here it says entrepreneur site. So you want to cite source, and it brings you, I'll pull this up, and it brings you here. So command plus so you guys can see this. Okay, so as you can see, it has the last name of the author, comma, first initial, period, parentheses, 2018, March 8th, okay, period, the basics of branding, period, entrepreneur, period, retrieved March 8th, 2022 from, and then as you can see, it has a hanging hashtag. Now, you can copy this, right here, you copy it, and then you paste it into your Word document, on your reference page. But there you go. There's your citation already done. I like to use this. I do know how to use APA. I do know how to format APA. But a lot of times, if I have, say, anything over 2 references, it gets it slows me down on having to type out, because when you reference the APA style, it's the way this is written is the exact way it has to be written according to APA style. You cannot miss your commas, your periods, your brackets, the spacing. All of that counts. That is the format. Even that hanging, and the hanging this is what they call a hanging indent. Okay, so you can copy this and then paste it into your Word document and hand it in to your instructor. Now, sometimes it will lose its formatting when you take it into a Word doc, so you will have to, select if your professor says it's supposed to be in Times New Roman, then you want to make sure you put it in Times New Roman 12 point, and then of course do the setting. If working in Word is something that you want to see me talk about, I'll be more than glad to show you. I do have the Microsoft 365 suite. I also have the Adobe CC suite. If any of those you want to learn about and you think I'll be a great teacher for you, hey, hit me up in the comments below. Let me know. Okay, so that's how you use Scriber. Now, another great tool that I like to use is Google Scholar. Now, if you are in college and going to a school, chances are your school library has access to pretty much every scholarly database on the planet. I mean, that's the beauty. I'm an information junkie. I love me some information. So, but this is a great starting point. Okay, so let me give you an example. We're doing a lot of research and stuff about branding. Okay, so you can use this to say you need to find another source about branding. As you see here, I type in branding and I get all of this, these options: branding strategy, marketing theory, in marketing model, challenges, the process, branding management. Now that's what we are working on. So you click on that. If you look over here to the left, anytime, you got since 2022, 2021, 2018, so forth, so on. So you can narrow your topics down. As you see here, it picked like 821,000. That's a lot. Okay, so you can go through and just kind of scan to see if anything catches your eye that you might want to look at. If not, you just, click on the next page. Effects of internal branding in a hospital, from image management to relationship building. The influence of branding management on business performance and empirical evidence from Vietnamese food, personal branding phenomenon. So let's pick that one, personal branding phenomenon. So I'm gonna open up in a new web page. Okay, so as you can see here, it took me to another database, ProQuest, access provided by Southern New Hampshire University. That's the university that I go to. So it already recognized that I was a student based on probably my IP address, and I think I've accessed this before, so I kind of gave myself away. But you can see the article. Another great thing is it'll read to you. You can click right here. If you see something like this will read to you. Let me see what it sounds like.
Abstract. Personal branding is a planned process in which people make efforts to market themselves. This process involves 3 phases. The first phase is to establish a brand identity. People have to differentiate themselves and stand out from a crowd.
All right. I love the reading out loud ability. Matter of fact, I will show you my version of that for Mac. I think Windows has it. I'm not 100% sure. I have migrated from Windows a long time ago, so it's been a while since I actually used Windows. But anyway, this is a great way to get some scholarly articles, and a lot of your professors will require scholarly articles because they want to make sure that the information that you're using has been verified and published in a academic journal and so forth, so on. And so you'll need stuff like this. And a lot of times I'll go and use Google Scholar before I will use my library, just because I have to sign in and and if I think I can find it on Google Scholar and be able to access the information, absolutely, I will do that. Absolutely. So that's some tools. Now, another tool that I like to use, it is Virtual Source Bookshelf. Now, depending on your school, most of them will require you to have a digital book or some book of some type for the class. A lot of my classes, it was a mixed bag. Some of them I had to buy the book, and then I was able to read it on Vital Source Bookshelf. And then some of them I had to access them through the school library. And it depended on the book as whether or not I liked reading it that way. But I really enjoy reading or using this Vital Source Bookshelf app. And here is why. So we're going to open a book. This is one of the classes I'm taking right now, brands and brand management. And so you have an option over here to zoom in, okay, zoom out, facing pages, continuous scroll, which definitely that should be me, fit to width, fit to height, so forth, so on. So that's your basic stuff, right? And then you've got workbook notes where you can highlight stuff. And then once you've highlighted it, you click and it'll take you there. Okay. I like that. But as you can see here, I've made some highlights and whatnot. And then I can also, on top of these highlights, I can make notes. So you gotta love it, love it, love it. So you don't see my wheel turning. I don't know. I don't see it in my camera, but my computer is thinking right now. So it's not being very nice to me. But anyway, while that's doing that, one of the things that you can do is also make flashcards if you are trying to memorize some of the terminology that's in the book. You can make bookmarks using the book and read out loud. Read out loud is awesome sauce, because a lot of times, you know, looking at these screens, my eyes get tired and sticky, and to read another page is just detrimental. So this right here is a great source to use. So it's having a moment, doesn't want to respond. So we are going to close it. This is let's see if we can do it like this, y'all. You see what happens when so bookshelf, I'm gonna say force quit because it's not responding to me. So hold on. Oh, there we go. Okay, now it's acting right. I knew about to shut it off. Okay, so but over here I made some flashcards, or an example of flashcards, but this is strategic brand development. So this was a flashcard that I made, and it's just a note basically, or a definition of that particular term. And so as you can see, these are the books that I've had in my last classes. And what I do is, I think they expire, that they go back to the library after so many days. These 2 classes I just finished, so I still have access to them. But this is a really awesome source. What I did want to show you is the read out loud. So up here at the top, you get a menu, read out loud, read text out loud. And then as you can see down here at the bottom, this blue bar comes up, and then you push play.
2 Part 1 Bullet Opening Perspectives Preview. Ever more firms and other organizations have realized that one of their is the brand names associated with their products or services. In our increasingly
So as you can see, it reads to you. You can tell it to start at a certain point. Like if I wanted to start there, when I highlight it, it's actually asking me, do I want to highlight it? Do I want to add notes? Do I want to copy? Want a flashcard? Read out loud from here. So,
according to the American Marketing Association, AMA, a brand is a name, term, sign, symbol, or design, or a
okay, so that is a preview of some of my tools. Now, another tool that I like to use is Evernote. I love Evernote. Now, when I first started using Evernote, I was kind of like, this is complicated. But as I built my own system, it really works for me. And I think that's the key to using Evernote. You got to come up with your own system. So one thing that I like to do, each class, I create a notebook for each class. And one of the main things for each notebook is a citation and reference note. And in that, what I do is I keep a compiled list of all the resources that I use during that class. So I don't have to keep going back and finding them, because you're going to use them over and over in the class. As you find them and you write more papers, you're going to be like, oh, I should use such and such. You already got the reference, just cut and paste. That's it. Just cut and paste. I think it's a great way to make your notes while you're reading stuff. What I like to do, as you can see right here, Module 2, article in Inc. magazine, how to define your target market. And I just make my notes as I'm reading it. I'll pause, type a note in there. And this is very helpful to me in building my papers even, because now I know exactly where the information came from. And as you can see here, I put Porta 2021. That's the author. So that way I know where that thought came from. But Evernote, like I said, none of these apps or websites that I'm telling you about have paid me. But these are just tools that I love to use to help me stay organized, to help in my classes, to help me write down just things that I remember, and so forth and so on. And so one of the last things I want to show you, well, actually I'm going to show you 2 things. One is, let me find it, my clock. This right here it's a app that I downloaded off of the iMac store. Okay. And I like this because a lot of times I want to study, say I like to give myself at least 45 minutes. Okay. Study time. Okay. So I click this and it counts down. This way, at the end of 45 minutes, I give myself a 15-minute break. Stretch, get up, get some water, go to the bathroom, play a game, let my brain decompress from all the stuff that I've been learning. But I like to use apps like this, or this particular app, And when it gets done, it rings a bell. And here we'll do so you can hear what the bell sounds like. So we're going to do it for 2 seconds. And there you go. And then it'll pop up. You can't see it on the screen, but it'll pop up time's up. Okay. I'll also like to do that. Like when I was taking CLEP courses using Sophia Learning, at each module, there was a 2-hour test. So I would like to set that timer so that way it kind of keep me in check as I was doing things. And then a lot of times if I want to play and I'm like, okay, you know what? I don't want to do any homework for no more than an hour. This way I stay on track. So I set the clock, give myself an hour to do whatever I want to on my computer. And then when the hour's over, I'm done. So I had talked about using a read out loud program. Let me pull up my where is it? There it is. There it is. So now this little blue thing over here, that's also read out loud, but before I got that, there is a free read out loud with Chrome, and if I can pull it up over here, this is it. So this comes off of, or this is from your preference menu on your Mac. And I think it's preferences. Where's my menu? Pull this down. I can't get to the menu. Okay, hold on. I have multiple monitors, people. Sometimes it don't want to cooperate. Come on. All right, let's see if it'll come. There we go. Okay, so it's preferences, and I think it's accessibility, spoken content. Let me see if that, yes, okay. So as you can see, if I click this selection right here, speak selection, that little box goes away and there it comes back. So if you wanted to access this, it's under your Mac, accessibility, spoken content. You click here and then it speaks. Okay. And then you've got some options in here. Highlighted text, meaning it's going to speak the words, words and sentences, you know, what have you. Default color or word color default. You can make it say green. Okay. Sentence default, you can make that say pink. We're just putting stuff in here. And then sentence style, underline, background color, whatever. So show controller always. Okay. So how this works is, say you're in this, and I'm gonna open this window so you guys can see it up there. I like that it's movable. I love that. Okay, so I'm gonna highlight this text right here. Okay, and I'm going to push play. Okay, now it doesn't want to work. Really?
Branding is one of the most important aspects of any business, large or small, retail or B2B. An effective brand strategy gives you a major edge in increasingly competitive markets. But what exactly does branding mean? How does it affect a small business like yours?
So that's what it sounds like. I hope that recorded. I'll check it. But that's what it sounds like, and I love that. Now this right here, this is a paid app, or it's another app. I like it sometimes, but there are times that I can access this app. There are some web pages I can't get on it. Also, this little tool right here, the Speak Out tool right here, is great for PDF files. And allow me to demonstrate. So I'm going to open up my PDF folder right here. Let me get over. Let me see. Where am I? There we go. Let's open up a PDF file. It'll take a minute. And it's thinking about it. Okay. It came on a different screen. So let me move it. Let's go to screen 2. All right. Here we go. So let's open up. Let's open up this file, this PDF file. Just thinking about it. All these windows open. My computer's like, what are you doing? You're trying to film. You want to play all this stuff. You're working me too hard. Okay. So this is a PDF file that I downloaded from one of my, something I had to read, right? And sometimes it'll pop up a little window to ask you if you wanted to learn, and it takes too long. That's why I don't like to use it. If Adobe, if you're watching this, you might want to fix that if you want to sell that as a feature. But it'll pop up and say, do you want us to process this document to read out loud? I always tell it no, because it's just too much. It's easier for me to just highlight all this, okay, and push play.
Students Research, Global Media Journal, Indian Edition ISSN 2000.
Okay, it's trying to read all that. Stop. Stop. Play.
Students Research, Global Media Journal.
Okay, now my system is acting a fool. All right, let's try this again.
Students Research, Global Media Journal, Indian Edition ISSN 2249 5835. New Media, new.
Okay, I don't know why it doesn't want to read my abstract. Now it's making me seem like I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know. Does this stuff happen to you guys too? Okay, let's back it up a little bit. Let's try this.
Students Research.
I don't want student research. I want you to read from right there.
Students Research.
No. Okay, that's interesting. Let's try another document, because I know this works. Let's do this one. This is what I was talking about. Reading untagged document with assistance technology. I don't like to use this. It takes too long to process, so I always say cancel. So I'm glad I did switch over, as soon as I got to show you that. So let's go back up here. Let me get my scrolling. What am I scrolling on? Window, view, navigation. Where is it? Okay, single page. I want continuous scrolling. Thank you. So let's go to first page. And let's go up here to abstract. And let's just have it read that real quick.
Responding to the contradictory nature of our current moment of media change, this article will sketch a theory of media convergence that allows us to identify major sites of tension and transition shaping the media.
Okay. I'm so glad it worked. I was beginning to wonder. Now, when you do this, sometimes you can highlight like that. It's not going to read it. Okay. So you're gonna have to make sure your cursor gets the lines, picks them up, single line like that. That other way, it won't work and it'll frustrate you. So you might have to play around with it for a little bit. Okay. So, so I hope these tools were helpful to you guys. I love to use technology to help me work smarter, not harder. But these are tools that, I do a lot of reading. I mean, tonight, I've got reading to do. So I wanted to take a break and just this was on my mind. I needed to make another video. I haven't really made a video this week. And so I said, you know what? Let me make something that makes sense. Give some tools, give some tidbits and whatnot. So I hope this was helpful to you. If anything you saw you would like to know more about, write me a question. And definitely I would love to show you guys how to use different things. I love doing research. I can find just about anything I want online because I love digging around on websites. I've been doing it for so long. But yeah, this is the stuff that just helps make classwork so much better and better and better. I just want to note on the APA tool Scriber, it's a great tool, but definitely take the time to learn how to do it. Okay. Now, a lot of times when you download stuff, if you are downloading it from your school library section, you can pick up the citation off the side. There's a way that it'll give you the citation already done, and you just copy and paste that into your document, and that's a lot easier too. So you don't have to use Scriber at all. But sometimes, especially when you're using, like for a lot of the articles we read about in Inc. magazine or Entrepreneur magazine or stuff like that online, there is no citation, so you got to build it. And I like to use Scriber to help me with that. Like I said, when I got like 5 to do, trying to do all those punctuations is just a lot of time consuming. So, all right. I hope this was helpful to you guys. I hope you got something from it. If you did, like, subscribe, share, comment, do all those wonderful things. I will continue to put up videos. If my channel seems a little mixed match, it's because I'm mixed match. Okay? So just enjoy it. Enjoy the content. Consume it and enjoy it. And I hope it brings you something good. All right. Peace out, everybody. I'm leaving you.
Oh.